Alright, B. So this anime season, I'm looking for something to really sink my teeth into. I've been checking out a few shows, not a lot that's been catching my eye, but what are you feeling right now? But let me set a quick rule:
Okay, you got
no
rules.
sequel anime,
Okay.
no sequel, no sequel stuff. So no Attack on Titan, no Boku no Hero, no Shingeki no Bahuma. Whoever watches that, I hear it's good, but none of those because we all know Boku no Hero's number one, right? You
True,
agree?
true. It is the best right there. It is the best. Those Attack on Titan fans, they could catch a L because they doing too much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say all that.
Chill.
I ain't gonna say all that. Attack on Titan is still pretty decent, but what are you feeling right now this season? Because to me, it feels a little bit weak.
True, true. You speaking truth right there. I mean, in terms of like only the new stuff, only thing I got right now is like Grimoire of Zero. Pretty decent anime. Pretty cool story about like a mercenary like who's half human, half beast, and he hates witches, and he ends up forming a relationship with a witch that's gonna turn him back and revert him back into a human. And for that to happen, he has to help her out. So that's pretty interesting. Um, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it. It has like a decent pacing, above average story. The visuals are like pretty cool, and the intro's all right. I dig it. It made me jam in my seat just a tad bit, you know. But like compared to everything else in this season, like this is just something that you need to keep your eye on, pretty much, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. I remember watching it. Not something I was feeling 100%. Is the story? Each of the episodes, I think there's like three out. There's only like if they felt very one-off-ish.
They dragged a
It's
little
not.
bit
It
too.
feels like it felt like the plot wasn't really like we don't really know what's completely going on. We just kind of got like hints of let me not spoil nothing.
I mean, they just laid
So
out
we
the
just kind of
story.
yeah. But I wasn't completely feeling it. Lolly and the
Oh my
Beast.
god.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Why is it Lolly
Lolly
and the
and the Beast.
Beast? Come on, bruh.
Lolly and the Beast, man. It doesn't seem right.
Bruh, he's half beast. He's just big
But
bone.
how old is he
Oh
though?
my lord, we're not doing this right now.
How old is
He's
he? Yes, he
probably
has some.
20 or something.
Go
You know,
on,
he's
B.
probably 20. I'm gonna just leave it at that. He's
That's
20.
a grown
That's
man.
not no grown man. He's just mad
That's
tall.
a grown
He's just
man.
mad tall.
He pays his own bills.
Made me almost spit out my juice.
He pays his own
He makes
bills.
his own food. That's it. That's as far as we got in the show. That's as far as we got in the show. But what about
All
you,
right.
man? What's your number two spot right now? What's this looking like? What you digging in this season?
Two, number two, number two, number two. Well, there's two shows actually.
Mm-hmm.
There's one show I actually want to touch on real quick because when I was watching it, I never got to finish it. I got probably like 10, 15 minutes in. But the premise of it, I'm really digging. I think it's called Waharu Salesman.
Wahoo salesman.
Waharu Salesman. He's basically a dude. I was gonna say a lawyer. He's a traveling salesman, and he deals in like people's utmost desires. Their heart's desires,
Hey, like a
basically.
genie?
Kind of, I
Okay.
guess. Not really, but like he goes around. He gives people. He kind of like helps people get what they
Mm-hmm.
want, and he makes a deal with them. And if they break the deal, bad things happen. It's kind of like a moral of the story is kind of show from what I've seen so
Mm.
far.
Okay.
And I was really digging. I kind of want to finish it, but overall, it was pretty good from what the first 15 minutes or so I've seen. It seems kind of underrated too. I don't think a lot of people are talking.
Okay.
You heard of it?
I didn't hear nothing about that. I don't even know. Like the premise seems pretty cool. Like I feel like I should have heard about it, but I didn't. I guess
Mm,
it's overshadowed by Boruto and all the other shit. But
yeah. The other one was another one. It's called Sakurada Beat.
Sakurada.
I mean, not Sakura, not Sakurada Beat. Sakuranda Reset or something like that. Sakurada Reset. There we go. It just clicked. It's basically a town called Sakurada,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like half of its inhabitants get these supernatural abilities. Nothing OD, no flying and shooting lasers and stuff. Well, not from what we've seen. The way the main character was playing, he seems like they're like really just like convenient ones. Like, oh, you can make things levitate, or you can see very far, or something like that. No OD stuff.
Seems basic as hell. Like you could sneeze super hard.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And like if they leave the town, they forget they had the power and they lose the power.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. What? So they leave the town and they lose the ability. Like, what happens if they come
yeah.
back?
It's only in that. Apparently, there's some. I don't know what's going on. I only watched the first episode, but apparently the town is bordering like the Pacific Ocean, and I'm not sure if that ties into anything. But the story revolves around these two characters. The the main character, he has this power to remember basically anything, and this other girl has the power of reset, which she is able to reset, kind of like saving a game, and then she could like load another save file, but she only has one save
Like
file. Think of
ReZero?
it like,
Okay, okay.
yeah. So she has a 3-day maximum period before the save file basically erases herself. But the catch is, she doesn't remember if she once she resets, she doesn't remember what she resets to. She doesn't remember anything that happens in that time frame. That's kind of like the downfall of her ability.
So like Tracer,
So
she goes back.
yeah. So I guess, so I guess that's why she teams up with this dude, because he has the power to remember anything. So whenever she resets, he knows what the hell's happening. He's like, "The hell's happening? Everything's resetting." So I guess they come together and work. Apparently, off the synopsis, it dives more into like they go on missions and like do things to help people, and there's like some kind of organization overwatching them. But it seems pretty cool from what I've seen. The first episode kind of dragged a little bit, but it left a lot of mystery that made me kind of want, I'll come back and check
Sparked
this
your
out. But
interest.
if it keeps dragging like that, yeah, if it keeps dragging on like that, I don't think I'm gonna stay too long, because it was, I'm not gonna say boring, but
Slow burn, right?
hey, yeah,
I hate when it starts
Hey.
like that, man. Them slow burns, it's like, and then when you finally go through it, it clicks.
yeah. By the end, I was like, oh, because the first episode ended on a cliffhanger. I was like, oh, okay, we got some things setting up.
Okay, okay,
But-
okay.
What about you? You got anything else, or are we
Me?
going straight into
Now
the
we can't go straight
meat and
into
potatoes?
the number one. We gotta start off with like some honorable mentions of this season, and I definitely got a little something that's different from what everybody else is watching. I'm watching.
Ooh, do tell.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm watching some Gin no Guardian. It's honestly, for what you're getting, like the way it's packaged, as like it's 13 minutes in comparison to anime that's usually 20 minutes, 21, like the whole 24, and then it's done. It's only 13 minutes. It's only 13, and you're getting a solid. It's not like the most solid story, but everything is set up from
I
the
feel like I
first
know this.
episode. And honestly, for what you're getting, and the studio behind it didn't have the biggest budget, and like the animations aren't the best. It's not the cleanest, most visually appealing show out there, but it's a pretty enticing story. Like it definitely warrants a watch. You know what you're getting right into. I don't feel like my time is wasted watching it. It goes by so quick, and it's like, okay, I dig it. Like this is something worth watching. If you don't have anything this season, you could definitely start with Gin no Guardian, because it's really good. I dig it. They have cool powers. The dude sets up a fucking computer next to the pool. Like his whole gaming rig is outside, and like
Once you said that, I remembered it. First episode, that boy brought his whole PC gaming rig next to a pool. Like, what's happening?
let him
I
run. Let
remember-
him run.
What's wrong with this man?
He's not. He's a couple gears, a couple screws loose, but he's just trying to find himself. It's pretty good.
When I was watching it, I remember this one kind of clearly. When I was watching, I wasn't feeling hot, but then I peeped. It was like one of those mini anime,
Mhm. It's a
kind of like
mini
Sweet
series, yeah.
Lightning. I think that was like a last season, but not too short like that. I think that was like 5 minutes. For what it is, it wasn't horrible. I don't know if it's something I'll come back to or watch weekly. Probably like, got some free
I'll
time and
marathon
all
it
of
at
it's
the end of
done.
the season. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like binge it one time. It wouldn't take too long. But okay, I can see that. I can see that.
It's a little something different compared to everything else. You know what I mean? It warrants a watch. It warrants a watch. I mean, I bet. Let's dive into number one then, baby. Let's dive into
The
number
meat
one.
and
The meat and
potatoes.
potatoes. Because we just went through the appetizer.
So you want me to go
Son,
first, or
first,
you?
B. What you got? Drop the heatness, B.
I don't know. It's heat. I don't see all that. So what I got here is something that's a bit, I won't say overhyped, but it feels like it's something that people are latching on to pretty quickly, because the way this season is set up right now, and everything here isn't too hot, but people are really catching on to this one. It's called Recreators. I know you heard
God, I
about
heard about that one, bruh.
it. Mm,
Bruh, it's
Yeah.
mixed. It's super mixed bag. But go ahead.
yeah. So basically, the premise of the show is that the anime characters, video game characters, basically any kind of like a media that are super popular, basically more centric to like anime and stuff, they do the typical main character goes into their world, but flip that on its head.
Mhm.
The anime characters come to the real world,
Oh.
quote unquote real world, because it's not television, it's
True.
anime still. But so that's the whole premise of the world. But I can see why people like this show, but something's just telling me that it's gonna go downhill. It might be because it's an original I'm gonna say original IP, but it's original content from the studio Troika, and I believe they made an anime called All Noah a few
Oh
years
my
ago.
god, not
Another one that
bro,
I was
not
hype
Unknown
about that one
Zero.
too. And man,
That was a
that
shit
show
show.
I was hyped for it. The music was
It was
stunning.
clean. It was
Bless that man Hiroyuki
he
Sawano.
was
Bless
he
that
worked
man.
hard, bro.
Animation was spot on,
Mm-hmm.
but as the episodes progressed and how it wrapped up with like season 2 with that show, I'm not gonna call it ass, but it wasn't too hot, and I
It
feel
was hot
like
ass.
this is gonna. Okay. I feel like this is gonna go down that same path, but I hope it doesn't.
You praying?
Like, it's hard to say because the first 3 episodes there wasn't super like a whole bunch of characterization. Like we learned about the main character, he likes to draw, but he seems like he likes to put things to the side. Like one time he's supposed to be studying, and then he would just drop that to like read and watch anime and whatnot. And like he tries to draw, same thing. He stops halfway to read and watch anime. Don't know if that's like a thing that they're gonna touch on later, but that's pretty much all we know about the main character. And he seems pretty much like a side character, even though the story's kind of centered around him. Other than that, the other characters feel not super appealing, but they're not horrible either. They have their set personalities and their tropes and whatnot. They're like, oh, there's like the kind-hearted girl, then here's like the studious girl, but it feels like they're not super grounded yet. Though we're only 3 episodes in.
So,
Oops, that's my phone.
so you're saying it has potential?
Yeah, like they do little things in the series. Like, all right, here's an example. In episode 2, I'm not gonna go into spoilers here. There was a character that comes from a generic, like kiddish, actiony beat 'em up kind of show, and the way in that show, well, we assume that the way they solve their problems is like beating the villain of the day or whatever by fighting them, and things are whole peachy keen after. But in the real world, when she gets into a fight, she sees blood and the whole devastation of all her powers and whatnot. It's cool to see her confusion of seeing like blood and the consequences of her action. And I hope they dive into like more stuff like that. Like there are drawbacks in the real world that things that they can't do in their world, or things that they can do in their world. I mean,
Okay.
I just hope they dive into more stuff like that, even though it was like a small piece of the second episode.
Yeah,
know?
I got you.
But that's pretty much all I gotta say on Recreators. It seems cool, but I just hope it doesn't go downhill, basically.
Okay, that's fair enough. One can only hope. I got you. I mean, what about me? I got some heat though. Go ahead.
Go ahead, B. I was waiting for you to start talking.
All right. I'm about to drop this name though. It's about to be real hard. It's Shimatsu Nani Shitamasu Kai Gosaji Desu Kai. You know what? It's called World End. I gave up.
Come on, son.
I gave up on that. It's too damn. It's so long. But basically, like the story is set around like the 17 beasts that destroy the human race, and like all the other surviving races banded up together and like moved to mobile homes in the sky. And like that's the whole overarching story. And basically, it's like the main character. He was the last surviving human, and he was in the past battles that destroyed the human race, and he awoken out of this like Zelda style icy chamber, and he remembers his life 500 years prior and shit like that. But that's not what's interesting. What's interesting is what happens in episode 2, and I cannot spoil it, but god damn it, this show is very promising. It is my number one spot.
With, the blue-haired girl and the dude who looked like a Dollar Tree Gurren from
Did you just call up the Great Value?
Wario's No Seraph?
You can't do that to my boy Officer
like
Willows. Like, you can't do that.
Oh no! I'm hoping that you put like a little picture of Gurren and this man on the screen right
Oh my god, you cannot do that to Officer Willows.
He looks like the Dollar Tree version. But go on.
Bruh. So, alright, you know what? I just get the feeling that for an anime like this, you really need to like de-emotionalize yourself like as soon as possible. Like you need to do that ASAP. Like from episode 2, I knew I had to de-emotionalize myself. I'm gonna end up Akame got killed. Like I know.
We don't talk
We
about
don't
that.
talk about that though. We like this show. It dropped that dark twist. Like this is a slight spoiler, but there's a dark twist in episode 2. But like you won't be able to tell when it happens. Like it'll just creep up on you. You'll be like, oh
yeah,
shit.
It's a gradual build
Like
up.
you'll be like, oh
like
shit.
it starts pretty cherry, and then I was like, oh, so we're taking that kind of tone for I guess future episodes. Though I'm not completely sure because the preview for the third episode, but we ain't gonna
We
get
ain't gonna
into
get
that.
into that. We don't get into that.
Yeah, but I'm with you on that one. That one was actually pretty interesting. The second half of the second half of the second episode is one that got me, just like you. Yeah, I'm down for that.
It seems
Probably over Recreators too, but I'm not too sure.
This
Action and
this
Recreators
is
is
gonna be my
pretty
show, bro.
pretty top.
It's gonna be my show. But that's all I got for you. This is my heat right here.
Nah, I think that's all we got in general, because
Ain't shit this
We
season, bro.
we ain't talking about those sequels. We ain't talking about that Attack on Titan, unless y'all want us to. But we're gonna end it here.
That's good enough.